Come out this Monday night, December 23rd, Christmas Eve, for the biggest party of the year. That's right, it's that time again. It's the 3rd annual Clay Edwards Show Christmas Bash at Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. And this year we got a treat for you. We got the band being called the next 3 doors down from right here in central Mississippi. It's the Stevens Brothers. That's right, the Stevens Brothers performing live. Sound and lights provided by Sirius Southern Entertainment. Doors swing open at 6 p.m. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Burgers, Blues, Barbecue.
Boom, shakalaka boom. It is the last show until the next show. This is the Clay Edwards Show. The free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. I guess every show is the last show to the next show, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much how that works.
Yep.
It's the last show this week. It'll be the last show till next Monday.
Not the last show of the year, I guess.
No, not the last show of the year either. I thought about that. I'm like, no, there's a whole other week. Whole other week. No, we'll have a full slate of shows next week, I think, other than New Year's Day. Mm-hmm. I think that's what I did.
You doing New Year's Eve?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. I need to go back and double check, but either way, I'll let y'all know.
Yeah.
If not, it'll be a great replay. All right. Well, look.
Awesome.
Good morning. We got Shaun YURTKURAN here in the studio. The Mazda Jackson phone line, if y'all want to chime in, is 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line 769-241-1944. Man, good time to get out to Guns and Gear. I think they're closed on Mondays. I don't know if they're open this week for any special reason or anything, but Christmas shopping. But assuming they're not, you got tomorrow, Christmas Eve, to get over there and get the gun, the 2A lover in your family, some guns and or accessories. Or man, I tell you, don't sell them short on their knife selection over there. They've got some really cool knives. Shaun, I've really developed this love affair with, and I haven't gone out and bought any yet because I'm just really kind of digging into it a little bit. American-made knives are making a huge comeback.
Are they really?
Yes.
I'm a huge knife, as you can see. I've got one on me right now. Like, I always have a different knife. I have tons of them.
Yeah, they are. American-made knives are making a big comeback, just the craftsmanship.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I mean, they're more expensive, but people don't care. Like, people want cool stuff. I think there's one called the Montana Knife Company. I just saw Kid Rock share their stuff the other day. And I clicked on it and went to it and kind of went through the website. It's beautiful stuff. It is not cheap. I mean, he can afford it. I don't know if I can afford a $700 set of steak knives or, $3,200 set of steak, whatever it was. But, man, if I could, I would. Like, I could definitely see wanting that.
Right.
But, back to reality, just a nice pocket knife.
Oh, yeah. I mean, over the years, I've always realized that, like, you have to have a knife on you. There's always a utility for it, for something. There's a reason. And I carry one all the time, and and sometimes I forget because I'm just so used to carrying it. It's like one of those things, like a pen, an ink pen on you. Or like I walk into the jail and I'm like, uh-oh, like I was not meaning to bring it. This is what I carry with me all the time. So
yeah, and I do not carry a knife on me, and I need to, but I don't want to get in that situation where I get in somewhere and I can't have it. Rarely am I going anywhere that you can't have it. Well, they probably prefer you not have it, but they're not searching for you. Like I know I can't take a knife in the amphitheater or gun.
Oh, you're not allowed to? They don't let you do that there?
No.
Okay.
No. I know there's places that you don't need that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also just places where, man, I don't want to get into a situation where I feel like I need to pull out a knife out and cut a mother.
Yeah, but I'm not carrying it for that reason. There's just so many times, like I eat apples during the day. I pull out my knife, or just random stuff that you need a knife for. That's why I have it on me. It's not to cut somebody. It's not generally to cut somebody. That's not my main purpose of carrying it with me all the time.
That was definitely my main purpose.
That's your main purpose. That's really not my purpose. It's like just use it for so many different things.
I just feel like that's the utilitarian purpose of a knife is to cut them off.
No, that's not why I've got it on me. I just use it for so many different things.
Well, Shaun, tonight's the big night, man.
Yeah.
The third annual.
Third annual, huh? All right. That's
fourth
awesome.
Year of the show. But I started the show right after Christmas the first year, so there was no Christmas party that year. Mm-hmm. The show started in February.
Okay.
So it's the fourth annual. Clay
Polo will not be there this year, obviously.
I extended an invitation. We were going to make him the guest of honor, float his ego a little bit. But no, he will not be. He will not be there. It will not be doubling as a free polo rally either.
Did you send one to Chalkway and Jody?
No, I should. Polo can rot in hell for all I care.
Right.
I just want to make sure. I made a post about polo the other day.
Yeah, so
and I think some people may have misread that, like maybe I was being nice about polo.
Mm-hmm.
I was not being nice about, but polo can go rot in hell. I was making a point that even though he's done some really bad stuff, I could still sit here and say I was appreciative of the opportunity he presented to me prior to his bad decisions.
Yeah.
Like both things can be right.
Sure.
I have nothing good to say about him. But he was using me and my 50,000 followers to get himself in a following in the white community. Because nobody white knew who Polo
and then he
was.
got one somehow by killing somebody. All the white people love those murder trials. So
yeah, like I didn't
kind of following, all right.
Like I didn't come out of that with much more notoriety. Mm-hmm. Maybe a few. I don't want to sit here and be completely foolish. But what I came out of that was learning how to get my foot in the door of the radio station.
Yeah.
And learning kind of how that worked, kind of pay to play a little bit, and buying an hour on the show. I don't know if you ever listen to WMPR. They're like, today's show is underwritten by.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Right.
I got to learn how that worked.
Yeah, Polo helped you get in the business, right?
Yeah,
It's no big deal. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Yeah. I mean, it's just like a lot of people get in certain businesses and the person that got them in did something illegal. It wasn't their fault. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example right now. I can't.
Yeah,
but, there's a million of them.
I'll think of one shortly.
Yeah.
Hey, let's give a couple good mornings. I want to get back to the party here. Jason Odom, my favorite Uber driver, took care of us this weekend. Thank you, Jason. Got us home and back to my car safely. Danny, good morning, Danny Fitzu. Mary Lee, one of my favorite people out there, man. Good morning, Mary. Hope you're doing well this morning. She says she keeps a QAD knife on her keychain. What is that? What does QAD stand for? Is that the name brand of the knife, or is that is that an abbreviation for some type of knife? And our favorite WLBT reporter, Kara Shirley, is in the live stream this morning. So good morning to Kara. Guys, I'll tell you what. If you are on the internet and you're not in front of a TV and you want to watch the local news, Kara does a similar show to what like I do when I do my live streams and stuff. She kind of hit a lot of topics really fast. Kara's on WLBT. I think it's at noon. Is that right? Or is it 1? It'd be 1.
I think 1 o'clock. Yeah, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yep.
1 o'clock. I highly recommend checking out Kara's show on WLBT.com or their Facebook page. And I'm assuming it goes to their YouTube also. YouTube is just such an easier platform to watch that stuff on. Because you're on Facebook, you kind of, anyway.
Yeah, you can't look at any other part of your phone. That's the problem.
The interface sucks.
Yep.
All right, back to the Christmas party. I hope to see everybody out tonight. It's going to start around, I'm going to be there at 5 o'clock. I mean, Burgers Blues Barbecue opens today at 11, and it'll be open for the duration. So you can get
you'll be there at 11:05?
Yeah, you can get there as early as you so choose. But I'm not coming in until about 5. But hey, I don't have to be the life of the party. But tonight, say 6 o'clock, free to get in. I'm not charging a cover. I'm paying the band. So I just want y'all to know that I'm putting money out of my pocket to throw this party with no ROI in sight. We'll be selling shirts. I'll just throw that out there. So if I could break even, that'd be sweet. But that it's not about money. It's about a thank you to the listeners for, again, pushing this show up into one of the most popular shows in the state, if not the number one show in the state. We don't necessarily subscribe to the ratings, but we got a mathematical formula we use, and the fact that I can't go anywhere without getting recognized makes me feel rather confident in saying this is the number one show in the state. With that said, I'm very appreciative of that, and I want to throw a party, and I'm going to do that tonight, and it's going to be great. It's going to be the biggest party ever. It's going to be huge.
Fantastic.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be the bestest ever, and we're going to be doing it at Burgers Blues Barbecue, downtown Brandon. We got the Stevens brothers playing live. We've teamed up with Shower Power, the great charity downtown Jackson that helps our homeless brothers and sisters out and gets them clothed, fed. They do so much stuff. It's not fair to just say they feed and clothe the homeless. They have an infrastructure in place where they actually try to help these people get their lives back. I mean, they do so much more, and it's one that I'm really passionate about. I know some people listen to Clay. I've seen you talk about homeless people. Well, I do talk about people. I'm just not going to lie to you. But I can also try to help those people out that want help. With that said, we've teamed up with them, and anybody that brings some type of winter clothing item, some old jeans, a jacket. I learned there's a difference in a jacket and a coat the other day. You can a jacket or a coat, gloves. What they really need too is if you want to swing by Walmart or somewhere, as much as I hate Walmart, pack socks. Socks. They could definitely use socks, stuff of that nature. Sweaters, hoodies, sweatpants, gloves, skeet. What are they called, Sean? Toboggans.
Yeah.
Skull caps.
Skull
Caps. Stuff like that. I'm gonna hook you up, courtesy of Southern Beverage. You're getting a free beer. I mean, I know a coat for a beer is not a great trade, but you're going to give it away anyway.
Yeah.
And now you get a beer. So that's our way of saying thank you. You're going to get a little ticket, you take it to the bar and give it to them. Boom, they're going to give you your choice of a Bud Light or a Michelob Ultra, courtesy of our good friends over at Southern Beverage.
And think, if you give people enough coats, they'll stop burning down the buildings downtown, which is another issue I think is interesting to get into.
That's a fair assessment.
I mean, like you saw the old ice house this weekend?
That's so sad. I mean, we're losing all of our old buildings.
I talked to a guy I was
before
working
they
out.
can even be redeveloped.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy at the gym who pretty in the know about it yesterday when I was working out, and yeah, it's all bums that are in there, right? And they set a fire. They had like living quarters. One he showed me in the Elite. It's really interesting. They had TVs set up, okay, where they were, the electricity was not shut off in the Elite, and they were charging people, other homeless people, to stay there. Like they made it a business. Like other homeless people turned this into a business, like a hotel. And they would charge, and so anyway, they were about to burn the Elite down. Apparently, they've stopped that, but this is what happened to the old ice house. And there's a problem is, we've had an influx of homeless people since COVID into Jackson. There's nowhere for them to go, so that's why you're seeing he told me that the Jackson Fire Department had informed them that not in the last 40 years have this many buildings burned down in Jackson over the course of the last few years. It's just been an insanity because of the homeless population.
Well, nice to see JFD do some work.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm messing with my fireman friends. I'm messing with y'all. They work.
I was really sad to see that ice building, man. That's a beautiful building. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about. Some people do. It's built in 1890.
Yeah, I hate to see it go, man. All those old brick structures, man. Yeah. True architecture. Yeah, somebody sent me some pictures of it. We got them posted. I think it is a race to get content out, and we did beat everybody. But it's still sad.
There was this guy was explaining to me that all inside it's all wood because that's what they would use to keep the ice cold at that time when they built the place. So it just lit up like a SOB, basically, like boom, it was done. And somebody had purchased this in 2019, was going to make it some sort of entertainment venue. Yeah. But that project just didn't come to fruition. And
that's right. I forgot. So I want to say some well-known brothers, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
That story that rings a bell. Some guys were going to do something, and it was going to compete down there with Martins and Hallamals. I don't know, compete's not the word. When you're down there, and you can ask our buddy over at Martins, or you can ask people that own Hallamals. Mm-hmm. They would love to have another multi-purpose entertainment venue that drew something other than the thug crowd that down there is currently drawing, a legitimate, crowd.
I mean, we always say, competition's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing. It could make everybody better. So
yeah. So if I have a bar that does 1,000 people a weekend, a night. Let's just pick a round number here.
Yeah.
If I have a bar that does 1,000 people every Friday and Saturday night, you open up across the street from me, and you got a bar that does 1,000 people every Friday and Saturday night. Then another bar opens up that does something just a little different that draws 1,000 people. So if we went from 1,000 people to consume my product to now potentially 3,000 people to intermingle to consume my product that may not would have ever come down to have consumed my product, but they consumed this other product and they said, hey, while we're down here, let's try this.
Yeah.
And then you synergy.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's do you remember the old, of course you do, but the old, Loggers and Bulldog would feed whatever nightclub was next to it, the Electric Cowboy and Headliners, whatever these.
And we would go, our intent was we use Bulldog and Electric Cowboy or Headliners as the example. We would know we were going to end there, so we intentionally started our night at Bulldog, so we could get a parking place, and they wouldn't let you just park there and walk next door. But if you parked there, went inside and broke bread, then you could leave your car there.
Right.
So I never liked waiting till 11 o'clock to get my night started.
Yeah.
Sun's down, let's get it.
Let's go.
So so it can benefit. Like I always felt like I would have never just gone to Bulldog. At that time, I was more like nightclubs, so I wasn't just like a Bulldog connoisseur. But I ended up becoming a Bulldog connoisseur, kind of waiting on the 11 o'clock crowd to go to the other place. So, I feel like they benefited more being next door to Headliners or Cowboy or whatever.
I'm sure. I remember those days. It was huge. I mean, and that's kind of the same thing you're talking about. Unfortunately, this didn't happen. And, I don't know what the, so I was talking to this guy about it, and he was, that the state, I guess the legislature might look into, this is like something that's going to be on the agenda for the session about what to do with the influx of homeless people in Jackson. And apparently it's not just Jackson, it's like in Biloxi, Gulfport, and all that stuff.
Well, hold that thought. Let's talk about it on the other side of the break here. We got Shaun YURTKURAN. You got Clay Edwards. Apparently we're dressed very similar as I look at us on camera today. I'm the one with the white hat on. His is not all the way white.
It's off-white.
He's got a cock on the top of his hat.
Yeah.
A chicken, an actual cock.
Yeah, chicken.
All right. We'll be right back. Good morning, everybody. Out there, stay safe, stay blessed. Don't go anywhere. We got 2 full hours of live radio with Clay and Shaun this morning on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here with Shaun YURTKURAN on a Monday. It's Christmas Eve here in the South, in God's country. We're on WYAB. We're also streaming worldwide on the where's my pretty little Facebook ring thing-majig? There we go. On Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble at SaveJXN. Please hit subscribe and share if you're watching on any of those platforms. It's greatly appreciated. That can be your Christmas present to me. Closing up, talking about the Christmas party tonight. It's going to be a big one, man. I'm just going to remind y'all every segment here. Big Christmas party tonight, free to get in, 6 p.m. to close. Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, downtown Brandon. Got the Stevens Brothers playing live. Got sound and lights. Man, we're running a huge light show. We're converting the whole outside of the patio into one big architectural light show. Shaun, it's going to be awesome.
That's awesome.
It ain't going to be just on, it's a serious Southern entertainment. Brian Barlow and his dad, they're bringing in the lights. We're not going to have lights just on the band. We're wrapping all the walls in there with lights. It's going to look awesome. You're not going to believe you're on a patio. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're really putting the whole shebang on this thing. It's kid friendly. I mean, like I said, I'm going to be having some adult drinks. I tend to get a little loud, but it's going to be kid friendly. So feel free to bring the kids by if y'all want to. Would love to see them. Love to meet them. So Burgers, Blues, Barbecue tonight. 3rd annual Clay Edwards Show Christmas party. Shaun, did you say you're coming?
Yep, absolutely.
So get to meet Shaun, man. He tries his best to make it to these events, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, when I'm not in court or something like that. I mean, I would have came to lunch Friday, but I had court and everything. Man, everybody's trying to get out of jail last week. That was a big thing. So,
well, speaking of the lunch party, we can make that a little ad read real quick. El Patrillo, Mexican Grill Cantina, right there on Highway 80 in Cross Gates, Brandon. They also have the location there in Flowood inside at Dogwood. They hosted our FAFO Friday lunch. We had about 12, 13 people show up. Thank you to everybody that came. And what was cool was our buddy Fred basically announced he's running for mayor of Brandon. Kind of let everybody know. Mm-hmm. It ain't official yet, but so that's gonna get interesting. We'll talk about that. Plenty when he's ready. But it was just good, man. Just a bunch of like-minded individuals just having a good lunch, good times. The food was phenomenal. Like I mean, the owner bought us all around a Patron. Everybody didn't drink.
But you did.
I did. You don't turn down a free shot.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You don't turn down a free shot. I won't snitch on everybody else who did, but there was one person that really surprised me that took one. I'll tell you off air. But okay. I was like, wow. But
it wasn't Fred.
No.
It wasn't.
No, but
that's his campaign slogan, but it's the name you know. Everybody watched The Distinguished Gentleman over Christmas. It's
yes,
worth it. That's worth it.
That he bought us a shot. But look, man, I'm just saying the hospitality of these folks at that place is just so over the top. They take care of folks. It's locally owned. It's locally operated. I've been on a chimichanga kick here lately.
Okay, I had one Friday night. That's funny you bring that up.
Yeah, I've been on I go through phases. I really wanted fajitas, but they kind of take up so much space. Mm-hmm. And Jeff, the fellow sitting beside me, had got fajitas. I think it was Jeff. Anyway, I'm terrible with names. A fellow sitting beside me, you know who you are. He got fajitas, and he's like, dang it, this is going to take up a lot of space. And it did, which didn't bother me none. But if I'd gotten them too, we'd have had 37 plates and bowls and cups, trying to do fajitas. That's why you can't never get Mexican to go.
Thank you for saying that, by the way.
It requires too many containers.
And it doesn't taste as good to go. Have you ever noticed that? Am I the one who just thinks that?
No, it's got to be hot, man.
It just doesn't taste the same when you get it to go. I've never get it to go. I think it's horrible, and I just don't like it. And I don't like also when you get it to go box and you try to eat Mexican the next day, it's not good. No. It's just not good.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Unfortunately, but it's great there, and I love
will
Mexican.
say here's what is good to go. Fajitas.
Yeah, you can do that.
Like fajitas. But if it's got any cheese melted into it, like the queso cheese and stuff, it just doesn't work, unfortunately. Nope. It doesn't work. But anyway, get over there. Check them out, man. They're just I don't have to sell you on all the good Mexican food. They got the Berea tacos. They have a Berea quesadilla now too, by the way, and that's the pork with the juice you dip it into.
Yeah.
Oh, so good, so good. So thank you to the folks over at El Patrio for hosting us. I'm just blown away at the hospitality. They were so nice to us. All right, Shaun, homeless problem. Something in the legislature?
Yeah,
Fred's actually talked about this.
Has he really? Okay, I haven't even talked to him about that. Yeah, I didn't really understand the extent of the problem until yesterday. Like I said, I was over at the gym and talking to a friend of mine who lives downtown that's very involved in this, and he was saying that he'd talked to Shanda Yates about it. I think maybe Fred's talked to her too. Like this is something they're going to tackle this session with, and this is not just a Jackson centric problem; it's a problem on the coast and in maybe in DeSoto County as well. So it's been a super big issue. But you think about it, I never really thought about it this way because like there's all this influx. Where do you put him in Jackson? So in Belhaven, it's now a thing called Grocery Depot, but Corner Market. It's the one next to my house on
former
Jitney 14, the famous one. And sometimes you can't even go there. And I hate to say this because
see, here's the thing: don't hate to say it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Too many people hate to say it because they don't want to feel bad, or
I fall in that group. I get guilt. Like, okay, but sometimes because I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go into the grocery store and I'm going to get hit up on the way in. I'm going to get hit up on the way out, and my $20 grocery bill is going to turn into $40 because I'm going to. And then I notice it's the same homeless people running their racket out there, right? Like there's the same ones, and they make you feel. Then some of them are very aggressive too. Like there's this one dude that just follows you to your car, man. And in Jackson, nobody likes that kind of crap because you don't know. Some guy's going to rob you.
He should go sell cars somewhere with that same enthusiasm.
He should. I mean, and it's just so I've gotten to a point where I'll scan the parking lot before I park because to see which homeless person's there, and then I'll go to the one in Fondren because it's not because I don't feel like getting hit up. And it's really gotten bad. And then there's homeless encampments I notice in Belhaven occasionally, where there's little tent cities they'll pop up. And so I saw that Virgie Lindsay Kingfish had this on his website. It put some city ordinance in they were going to vote on. I don't know if they did or not about breaking up the homeless.
It got taken off the docket. They didn't even vote on it.
Then his point I think on the website was we know Chalkway is not going to freaking enforce this anyway. So even if they could pass whatever ordinance they want. The Chalkway's not going to enforce it. So, but it's a massive problem. There's this if I drive on Fortification Street every day. There's this one dude that looks like a West African shaman or something, right? And he's got a cane, like a wizard cane, and he's just walking in the road all the time. Literally I've got pictures of him. I take him every day. This one's I put on Facebook, and he's just hanging out and trying to get money from people in the cars. And I'm like, okay, well, we got this West African shaman out here in the middle of the road, messing up traffic, and nobody's doing anything about it, nothing. And I just, it's a complete hazard for everybody. And
how many points do you get if you run them over? Remember that game?
Yeah, that's it.
Remember playing that as a kid? We run over people and you get 10 points for this, that, and the other.
Right. I think I sent you a picture of this guy where his hair is all looks like when a woman puts a towel on their head,
yeah.
When it looks like his hair's up like that, and he's got this huge staff. It's a staff. It's a literal staff.
I have one. My grandmother sent me one of those over for Christmas last year. I have no clue why she thought I needed a staff.
A staff.
But it's like a wood,
yeah, it's like a wizard staff.
Yes, I keep it and my 12 gauge off here beside my bed. Now you never know which one you're going to need.
Yeah.
The staff. The only time I've ever needed it for anything is it's got a rubber tip on the end of it. Somebody's phone fell under the bed. I have a big king size bed.
Yeah.
It's like
right.
a California king. It's huge. Mm-hmm. It takes up the whole bedroom. And so it fell in the back, and there's no just crawling under there. I had to use the staff with the rubber tip to get the phone. Because the mattress is one of those, I got it from Mattress Firm. Shout out to them. It's one of the IntelliBeds.
Okay.
I'm not saying I paid. Let's just say it's really expensive, and it probably weighs. Let's just say it weighed $1 for every pound. It would cost $1 for every pound, and it probably weighs 6,000 pounds. It's the most expensive. It's the most that too, but it's the heaviest mattress I've ever felt in my life. So you can't just move the bed. It's the moral of my story here. I had to use the staff to get the phone. So there are practical purposes to keep a staff around.
Yeah, I didn't know what this guy on Fortification's doing with it. I thought he's if you don't give him money, he's going to cast a spell and you're automatically going to become a crack addict or something. Like, I didn't know, but dang, now you're a crack addict. Like, I don't know what his staff for. He looks like but I don't want to like upset him because he may actually cast some kind of spell because he looks like that. He's got some special powers. But anyway, Capitol Police, if you're listening, you guys get this guy off the middle of Fortification Street because he's there like every day, and he's angry. He's like really angry and menacing. But nobody's doing anything about it. And, nobody's doing anything about homeless people. And then, so I'll walk into the corner market or grocery depot next to my house and, I know the people in there. They're all great people that work there and everybody, it's a small community there. So everybody knows each other. And I'm like, okay, can y'all do something about it? I just got accosted by this dude over here. And they're like, well, people get mad if we call in the police for the homeless people. I'm like, I don't care if they get mad. If this is my business, I'll be like, all right, people are not wanting to come here because they're getting accosted by these folks.
Let me ask you this. All right, so the people that get mad, we can turn this into one of our political discussions.
Sure.
The people that get mad, what are they going to do? Go to Rankin County to get their groceries?
Probably. I mean,
it's like the Christians who said Trump isn't strong enough on abortion.
Yeah. Right.
Well, what are you going to do? Vote for the Democrats that want to kill the babies when they're coming out?
Yeah.
I mean, what are your options? You know,
I mean, they're not going to go to most people are not going to go to the Kroger on I-55 North. And I don't go there. I haven't been there in years just because it's a pain in the butt.
I haven't been there since Kingston got kidnapped.
That was like 7-8 years ago. In 2017, I remember that happened. Because it's just it's a pain to park when you get in there. It's a madhouse. It's actually a very nice Kroger. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't shop there anymore. So like my options are the one next to my house and then the Fondren one. By the way, is a great. That's like one of the best grocery store in the metro area, in my opinion. But and it doesn't have that. Like they don't have the problems in Fondren. So why are we having these problems in Bellhaven? It's the same company that owns these grocery stores. I'm just trying to figure out like why is that problem happening in Bellhaven but not here. And so I don't know. It's an issue though, man. It's a real big issue. And so that's what I've seen, through Bellhaven. Apparently downtown, it's a giant issue, and they've infected all the abandoned buildings, which we know there's a lot of them in downtown Jackson, and that's why they're all burning down. So you're going to see more of this because there's no solution to what to do with these folks. And the legislature needs to do something, or we're just gonna might as well let them. I guess Jackson literally is burning because so you got Chockway burning down the City Hall, and the homeless people are burning down the actual city. So.
All right, we need to take a break. When we come back, we're going to pivot. I've got a special request to tell the story about the time Afro Man lived with me.
Okay, all right.
So let's pivot a little bit. If you guys have any questions y'all want for Shaun and I to answer, or any particular stories that you've heard about you want told, today is the day for that to happen, because I don't have my ear to the ground on all the craziness going on in the world after this weekend. I don't care to talk about spending resolution bills or continued resolutions. Again, this is not the show for that. If that's your thing, I get it. It's important. We're just not that show.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of shows out there that are. This is incendiary, humorous, irreverent stuff on this show, and very Jackson-centric. So anyway, just if you're holding on to get Clay and Shaun's opinion on the continued resolution, you're probably not going to have a good day. Going to be a bad start to your day. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, I'm going to tell the story about the time Afro Man lived on my couch while he had the number one song in the country.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I haven't heard that yet.
You haven't heard this one?
No.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Shaun YURTKURAN on The Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules when necessary. That's what we do around here. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show with Shaun YURTKURAN on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends. Let's push the places today that need that last minute push going into the holidays for last minute Christmas gifts. So we'll start with 042 Wine and Spirits and Havana Smoke Shop. Guys, I mean, look, the names say it all. You need some cigars or anything cigar related, get to the one of the two Havana Smoke Shops. There's one right over there on 55 in Jackson on Frontage Road out there in North Jackson, and there's one right out there on the reservoir right over by Fannin Mart. And get the cigar connoisseur in your family a great cigar or tobacco or whatnot for the holidays. They can sit around. It's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be great cigar and whiskey weather. But let's just be honest. Is it every day can be great cigar and whiskey weather if you really want it to be. So get by there. grab a cigar, then swing by 042 Wine and Spirits and get your favorite bottle of bourbon. Shaun, is bourbon and whiskey the same thing?
I'm the wrong person to ask that. I'm not good at that. No, those because bourbon people that are into that will attack you. Like they're really into. Have you met some people that are really into bourbon? Yeah,
like the craft beer snobs.
Yeah, the kind. Yeah. So I don't really know the difference.
Spin their craft beer around in their wine glass
with it. Like right, exactly with the snifter kind of.
I'm
not
I
that.
just want to slap people when I see them do that. Like
I drink Johnny Walker Black. You know, that's I think a blend or whatever. I don't know. That's what I like. But so I'm not a real connoisseur though.
All right, so I'm getting a text. They are not the same. So to my point, get your favorite bourbon or whiskey at 042 Wine and Spirits. And, of course, they got all your favorite tequilas, vodkas, and more. Man, I got a shot of tequila from the owner of El Patrio the other morning. The other morning. It sounds terrible, but it is what it is.
The other morning.
No. It wasn't even noon yet, so it's morning to me. It's morning till 12. Anyway, it was so smooth. We all kind of said the same thing. We're like, that was the smoothest shot of tequila I've ever had in my life. And it just got me to think, it's like, do I need to pivot from Fireball back to tequila again? I'm pretty sure it was a Patron, like a silver Patron. It was just really smooth. It may have been something else, but I like the silver Patron. I also love the Sammy Hagar's Cabo Wabo brand. He sold it, but he founded it. I love that. Anyway, they got it all there at 042 Wine and Spirits. And, of course, they got all your wines. They got the entire lineup of 19 Crimes and more. Get by there. See them today. See if they got any of their private barrel Four Roses left. I was lucky enough to get a bottle of it. It is spicy. I mean, gosh dang, it's good. So check them out. 042 Wine and Spirits located on Highway 80 right there in Brandon, Mississippi, right next to Sonny's Barbecue. If you need any ideas on how to mix your favorite drink, most of the staff there were bartenders at one point in time or another, especially Kevin. Everybody knows Kevin. Get him to hook you up with a good recipe. He's got the best lemon drop recipe you'll ever have. Your women will like it, and you will all be thanking me later, just like you had gotten home from Men's Health in Mississippi with that testosterone. Anyway, I digress. 042 Wine and Spirits, Savannah Smoke Shop. Get by there, get all your holiday liquor and cigars loaded up for the weekend. Shaun, Afro Man.
Yeah, tell us the story.
My friend Leslie wanted to hear this story. So, it was 2001, 2002. Opened Crazy 8 up in August of 01. So it would have been somewhere between then and by the next year, 02. Afro Man, while he's just coming off having the number one song in the country, number one song in the world, actually. It was not just, Because I Got High was a massive global hit. Number one in multiple countries. And I got him to come play Crazy 8. And he and me bonded pretty easily. He likes to get messed up. I like to get messed up. So we were like the toxic twins, so to say. But I don't like to get high. I just like to drink and party.
Right.
He liked to get high, but we
God, I hope he did. That would ruin the song for me.
Yeah. So we just like to have a good time, man. Like nobody will ever accuse us of not having a good time. And I liked having a famous friend. It
can't beat that.
It helped.
Yeah.
I took him to karaoke one night at at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
And of course he did Because I Got High.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at Buffalo Wild Wings.
He just did it impromptu in front of everybody?
He didn't really want to do it, but he kind of got roped into doing it.
Oh, I bet.
And somebody gave him a blazing wing.
Okay.
Like tricked him into eating a blazing wing.
Ooh.
And he's like, his lips were on fire. He was touching his lips like, man, what did I ever do to you?
Oh, God.
I was like, yeah, you're trying to kill my guy here?
Jeez.
Anyway, so that's about the same time frame.
They found him a mic, and he went out there and did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's
you
awesome.
Had, like, people in Buffalo Wild Wings.
I know. I'm just thinking about how cool that must have been. Yeah, right.
Yeah, just like, wow, is this really happening?
Yeah.
And of course, it predates, super smartphones anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like there's probably no video evidence of this, but you're just going to have to trust me. I wouldn't make this up.
You can record that on your Nokia brick phone, right?
No, if you could, you couldn't get it off.
Yeah. That's no way.
So we have Afro Man there doing that, and about the same time, he decides to go through this transformation, at least publicly, that he got saved.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he changed his name from Afro Man to Humble.
Oh, I didn't even know this. Okay.
And he redid his album, song for song, but Christian versions of the songs. Like Because I Got High became Because I Got Saved.
No, he did?
Yeah, you can find it. It's all online.
I didn't know that. Okay.
It's probably, you might not want to hear it, but I mean, it's
No,
all
I'm
there.
good.
It's all there. So it was at this time, but he was still he didn't stop smoking or partying.
Yeah.
But he was like, he was conflicted, like conflicted. Like, man.
Like Jesus wants me to be high, but.
Yeah, it's just a plant.
Yeah, it's just a plant.
So I guess because I was living, my parents had a big house, and so we were all living there. And I guess he just thought of it was like a safe place for him, to kind of get away from everything.
Yeah.
So he lived on my parents' one of our couches there for about a month. I think that's I
wow.
think right. About
was
a
this
month.
after this is after the popularity of the song, or
Yeah, well, it was still extremely popular.
Right.
Yeah, but it was like a couple months after.
okay, gotcha.
Like the fame all freaked him out, and like the global.
Oh, okay. So he's still famous. It's not like it was like 10 years later or something.
No,
okay.
this is all within that year.
I got you. Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, and so I got a famous picture somewhere. I tried to find.
I think
it this
I've
morning.
seen that one. You've showed me that, right?
Yeah, it's a picture of me and him with my two daughters
Yeah.
in my parents' kitchen.
Right.
And he's wearing an Afro Man T-shirt, and Kylie's got to be 1 or 2 maybe. Peyton's she's 3 years older than Kylie, so she's 4 or 5.
Right.
In this picture, she's holding like a little princess wand with a star on top of it, like on her mouth. It's just I call it the portrait of an American family.
Yes, I've seen that photo. Okay,
Yeah,
I've seen
and
that. Yeah,
it's on my
good.
Facebook somewhere.
That's good.
But that is the story of Afro Man living with me.
What a
He
good
deemed my house
story.
as a safe space, and so Kylie was old enough to know that her brownies had disappeared.
Oh no.
So how we knew Afro Man was still smoking, because I knew.
Yeah.
But how the rest of the family figured out Afro Man was still getting high was that the brownies kept coming up. This is a true story.
Yeah.
I could call Kylie right now, and she will verify this. She's like, Afro Man, she remembers this at 2 years old. The Afro Man ate her brownies
Oh no.
because he was getting high and getting the munchies.
Yeah.
And eating the
I
brownies.
thought he was making them into pot brownies.
No.
Okay.
No, that would involve, the whole kitchen.
Yeah, that's
no.
sure.
He was just getting the munchies and eating the brownies after everybody went to sleep because he'd go outside and get high.
Jeez. Well, that's all he was doing. No harm.
Oh,
no
yeah,
foul.
no harm, no foul. I mean, it's just a good story. Like, he thought it was like a safe place, man. We treated him, we opened, we welcomed the doors open.
Yeah.
We opened the doors and welcomed him in with open arms, what I'm trying to say.
That sounds
He's
great.
good people. Joseph is his real name.
What's he doing these days?
I mean, he's living the Afro Man dream, He's still rocking and rolling, doing shows. He got in trouble down on the coast. He had a whoop a trick that got on stage. It went viral, and he got called a woman beater and all this other stuff. I thought he got miscast as that. Should he have hit the woman? No, but you have to understand, he couldn't see. Like the video makes it look bad, but somebody rolls up behind you on stage. You reflect, and anyway, probably shouldn't have knocked the woman out, but she shouldn't have been on stage. Terrible job by the security team down there at that bar, Crest Live. That's no longer called Crest Live. I think it got sued into oblivion after all that. But he's doing good. He played Martin's at the St. Patty's Day Parade after party a couple years ago.
Okay.
And I wasn't able to get down there to it, but Peyton and Kylie were going to go. Kylie got sick, but Peyton was able to go and introduce herself and remind her, of me. Mm-hmm. And they tried to call me on FaceTime because they wanted to talk to me, and I slept right through it.
Dang.
So, missed my chance to reconnect with Joseph. But I try to, every time he comes to town, I've got something going on. So hopefully somebody will bring him to town somewhere other than the Dueling Hall, because, I'll never go to Dueling Hall again. But
Wait, you
comes
won't?
back to Martin's.
Did something happen to Dooley Hall?
Yeah, they did a vaccine mandate.
Oh.
And I'm standing by my word. I ain't never going in there again.
Okay.
Yeah. I bought
didn't
tickets
know.
to a concert that took 6 months to get a refund for, that they decided to have a vax mandate after they put the tickets on sale.
I've never been to a concert there, so I don't really know.
It's not a bad venue. I ain't got nothing negative to say except that, and I'll just never go again. I'm not telling y'all don't go. I'm not saying don't support it. I'm just saying Clay Edwards is standing by his word, and I ain't supporting it as long as Arden Barnett owns it.
Okay.
So, all right, let's take our last break of the first hour. That was story time with Clay and Shaun.
Yeah.
Hope that answered y'all's curiosity. Oh, one last thing about that. So he finally decided that Humble wasn't working. He had to get back to being Afro Man.
Yeah, right.
And I remember we were
Is
on our way up.
Christian rock or rap ever really that popular? Let's be honest.
It is
on.
within the circles that it is, but like not pop
Mainstream.
culture.
Yeah.
We were riding up to a concert one time in Grenada. He was playing, I think, somewhere up there, the Ice House or something.
Okay.
And I just remember looking over there, and I was drinking, and he was high, and I just remember thinking to myself, like, Afro Man's my designated driver. It's probably time I get my life together. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's hit up some of these comments here. I'm getting a lot of texts too about the bourbon and whiskey stuff. People are conflicted. This is a battle.
Okay.
This is a battle. Let's see here. Brent says, if they're not the same thing, then why is some of it called straight bourbon whiskey? I don't know. I agree, though. Let's see here. All right, we're on the homeless fight online here, it seems. Dan says, I keep up with politics to a certain degree, but I'm more the dumpster fire. I'm the ultra-conservative people's perspective, often more negative or critical than even Clay. I don't know. Let's see here. Corinthians says, well, I don't like reading people's replies to each other. Like, I don't like getting into that. Let's see. Let me find a starting point. BJ says, all bourbon is whiskey. Bourbon has to be at least 51% corn mash. Yeah. So all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Okay.
Got it.
We should have Stephen O'Neill on here because he seems to be a connoisseur of that, right?
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so everybody seems to agree that it's what that last person said about the bourbon and whiskey stuff, so I'm not going to beat that. A dead horse. FTW says he has more worried about his image from what I understand, kind of like Krista. I don't know what we're talking about here. I feel like I'm jumping in the middle of conversations. Tom says homelessness, addiction, and mental health will probably get worse. Hope not. Yeah, homelessness and addiction are tied together pretty much at the hip, aren't they?
I would imagine so, right? It's part of it, I would think.
Yeah.
Maybe not all. There's a huge homeless veterans problem. I don't know if that's an addiction stuff, PTSD issues and stuff. So there's a huge problem with that I've read over the years, and that's been going on for decades.
Well, and it's something that seems rather avoidable. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the reasons that Trump got reelected too is, I think it's one of the main reasons, honestly. Outside of just people voting with their wallet, the majority of Americans are really, really tired of seeing America crumble while we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars everywhere else in the world, spreading our democracy.
Right. Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I think there's people that really feel that way. Sure.
And I'm not saying you have to be an isolationist, but also we got to take care of ourselves before we try to take care of everywhere else first. To compensate the leaders of these departments for coming in under budget. Mm-hmm. And, like, how much money did you save us? Did you actually price compare like you were shopping for your own?
Right.
Like, so there's like, well, does this brand toilet paper versus this brand toilet paper? Like, or what I would do is hire whoever the buyer is for Walmart.
Yeah, right.
Say, you're now the buyer for all the dry goods in America for the government. Make these vendors, make these people compete for our business.
Right. Put them against each other because they're going to get a huge contract, make money. Everybody's got to make money.
Yeah, everybody's going to make money, but you're not going to rob us blind.
Right. And that's what's happened,
The John Q. citizen should not be able to walk into wherever and buy it for cheaper than the government.
Yeah. Like, why is that happening? I mean, we know why it's happening. I'm just,
Or let me rephrase that. John Q. citizen should be able to buy it for the same price the government gets it for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the government should be overpaying.
Or the government should be getting less because they're buying in bulk.
But that's,
most
of course.
Yeah, they should be. They should be paying less, but they're paying more.
All right, we're coming back. We got a quick moment of silence while the intro plays. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. He is Shaun YURTKURAN. We are the ambiguously gay duo.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Could you even do that cartoon these days without getting canceled?
Probably not. Probably not. Okay, only one of us is gay.
Yeah, that's right. And it's Kim Wade.
Not a duo.
Right.
Anyway, welcome back in to the show this morning. I told you it's incendiary.
Yep.
Look, we're live here on 103.9 FM. We're streaming worldwide on video at Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. If you're watching on any of those, hit that share button for your brother. Please, please, please. All right, Shaun, this segment is going to be brought to you by, you guessed it, the 3rd annual Clay Edwards Show Christmas Party tonight. Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, downtown Brandon, Mississippi. Doors swing open at 6. Well, really, they swing open at 11 a.m. this morning. Swing by there, get you a great plate lunch, and just don't leave.
Is anybody really working today? Just start drinking at 11. Come on.
Yeah, come on, man.
Just hit it.
Again, had the pumps primed by 6 o'clock when the party gets started. But
Be the fall over drunk tonight. Be that guy.
Just don't drive.
Don't drive. Just get an Uber. Yeah, it's fine.
Jason will be we have an Uber driver that's going to be set up in house for you.
There you go.
So we're not paying for it. You have to pay for your own ride, but we'll make sure you get to where you're going. I'll say that. I ain't letting nobody leave out of there.
Fred Shanks has got that trailer. He can ferry you around Brandon or something.
Yeah. Yep. All right. But again, the party's tonight. 3rd annual Christmas party. The Stevens brothers playing live. Free cover charge. You got to buy your food and drinks. Come out, have a great time. Bring some type of item to help keep the homeless warm. Coat, jackets, gloves, toboggans, socks, jeans, pants, whatever. And you're going to get a complimentary beer courtesy of Southern Beverage, Bud Light, or Mick Ultra. That brings me to a greater point about, there were people who, the culture war thing with Bud Light.
Yeah.
The whole thing, the war. And I was like, hey, don't drink Bud Light. We need to teach them a lesson. But don't poo-poo on Southern Beverage. These guys do a lot.
Yeah, you were consistent on that during that time.
Yeah, these guys are good people, man. This is a locally owned business that just happens to distribute this product. Let's not punish them. Damn sure don't be rude to them out in public. I just heard horror stories about the way guys were being treated for delivering beer.
Yeah.
Man, come on, guys. You're embarrassing us as conservatives when you're attacking these guys. And let's be honest, a lot of black dudes work for these companies. A lot of guys that probably, how do I say this here? I want to make sure I say this right. A lot of guys who have probably dealt with some racism. Yeah. And then you got a bunch of, most likely white conservatives cussing them out over the fact they were doing the Bud Light stuff, something they have no control over.
Right.
Which, what does that do? That makes all of us look bad.
Yeah.
And if they already had a kind of a side eye about white people maybe being racist in the South, here you are cussing them out for working.
Yeah.
Just stop. This is a vicious cycle that needs to stop.
Yeah.
And like I said, because I heard multiple horror stories about that stuff. But, like Mr. Costas, I was talking to the guys that run the routes and the managers of the routes and stuff, and they were told that they really tried. They tried their best to do right by folks. They were buying people cases of beer.
Really?
Like if they saw somebody pick up a Bud Light, a case of Bud Light or a 12-pack, say, I got you. If they were in the store and saw somebody, just want to thank you.
Got bad for them.
Just want to thank you for supporting us.
Yeah.
Man, what else can you ask for?
Yeah.
I mean, and on our side, as far as the boycott, we won.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and you can't blame the distributor for a bad marketing decision on the corporate, right? That's kind of what you can't. It was obviously Budweiser learned their lesson. They learned their lesson, and it's over. And I think now we're in a post-woke era. I saw that somebody say that on a podcast the other day. I kind of believe that, which is it's a good thing. I think we're all kind of ready for a lot of that stuff. Whether you were on left, and I know that sounds funny on the left. There's a lot of people on the left that were being quiet about it, that were sick of it. You know what I mean? But they couldn't speak out because then they'd get canceled. Yeah. So I think that a lot of that has shifted the tide from. I think the cancel culture thing is over with. I think it is a post woke era that you're going to see. So some good things came from it. I will say that, which I'm surprised, but it did.
Well, it tuned up companies.
Yeah,
it said, "Oh crap, we ain't doing this."
Yeah,
right. Look, like everybody's freaking out about Jaguar putting the trans people in their new commercial and doing this whole weird rebranding.
I haven't seen that one.
It's terrible. But you know what? That is not a company that is ingrained in blue-collar America.
Yeah, like who's behind a Jaguar, right?
Yeah. Bud Light was a direct slap in the face of the customers who supported Bud Light.
It'd be like Walmart running a transgender commercial.
I don't know, everybody at Walmart.
Just saying, but a Walmart is kind of like rural America. Part of rural America kind of commerce. Wouldn't you think so?
I don't know.
You wouldn't think so? Like, there's a Walmart within every 10 miles of any rural town in America. I read that not long ago.
It's the biggest retail outlet in the world. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't associate Walmart with redneck blue collar.
Really? Okay.
It ain't Bud Light.
Not the same way, huh?
No.
Okay,
Walmart,
I would.
I mean, there's Walmart in Jackson.
Yeah, I know. I just I associate it with like rural areas.
When you say rural, you mean white?
Yeah, well, I mean rural, like where it's whatever you want to define that as. You know, there's black people live in rural areas too. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. We'll agree to disagree here.
okay,
But I don't know. Walmart does plenty of woke stuff.
they do. Okay, I don't know. They do. I mean,
Target selling
Target's different than Walmart, though.
selling Gaby stuff.
But Target's different than Walmart. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes.
I mean, Target. Target is like the nicer Walmart, right?
Target.
Yeah, it's not. There's not Walmart. There's not Targets in rural areas either, right? I've never seen one. I mean, there's not like there's like a Walmart in McGee or like any small town you can think of. There's a Walmart. It's a moderately sized small town.
Well, what they do is they come in and they shut down all the mom and pop stuff, and then they force the gay agenda down your throats. And what are you going to do? Not support it? 'Cause where are you going to shop at?
Yeah, but that started in the late '80s, didn't it? I mean, when Walmart started doing that, was a big takeover of that of small businesses through Walmart. And then it's kind of funny because now Amazon is destroying Walmart, over the it forcing them out, which I think is interesting. So.
Wait, say that again.
I said, so, I read this thing about this. Okay, so, Walmart in the late 80s, early 90s, we all know, started killing mom and pop shops in mainly in small town America. Then now what you saw is Amazon was forcing some of the closures of Walmart stores. So Walmart tried to attack them on e-commerce, but it's not gone as well as Amazon, obviously, because Amazon had the infrastructure ingrained, and Walmart's trying to keep up, but it's not there. So.
Yeah, Walmart converted a lot of its Sam's Club locations into distribution hubs.
Sure, right, just like a fulfillment center for Amazon, right?
Yeah, but clearly they're just not big enough to do it on the level that
they don't. Right, they don't have it. They don't have the infrastructure set up correctly like Amazon does. They could have. They got, but they just doesn't. Right?
Well, like Walmart's e-commerce site, it's just not as.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's just not as user friendly. Walmart.com is not as user friendly as Amazon.
No, not at all.
And it's really surprising. It's as clunky as it is to be such a good company. My dog ate all my computer cables the other day.
Okay.
And I got home, and so I'm down to just my laptop. Thank God I bought it. Mm-hmm. But like all my big computer cables, like my screen and all that, it should have been half. I left her in the house for like 12 hours while I was out on my shenanigans Saturday, so she got a nervous twitch and ate my cables. And she actually got to get her butt tore for the first time. Anyway, but I say all that to say this. I got to order a new cable. The only one I can't just replace is the one that goes to my monitor.
Okay.
It's an LG, like 34-inch big monitor or whatever.
Right.
Well, it's a special kind of cable. It's got to be for that because it's got a weird outlet on it. Mm-hmm. It's round and it's got like a little prong in the middle of it. So I found one on Amazon. It was not going to be here till Saturday.
Okay.
If I ordered it. I found one on Walmart, and it was going to be here Wednesday. Not Wednesday. It'll be here Thursday, the 26th.
Yeah.
So I went on and ordered that one. Now, I've got my cable with me. I'm going to swing by. Hopefully my buddy Bo Rogel is at his shop. And I just need somebody to, I think it's just one solid wire. It's not multiple kind of wires and everything. We'll just strip it, tie it together, and, and hit it with the some electrical tape or some, what do they call those things? Where you put it in and you clamp it. Wire clamps. Yeah. Whatever. Hopefully I can revitalize this wire. So my thing will work by just tying it back together.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try that, but I'm going to I've got a $16.50 replacement.
On the way from Walmart.com.
On the way from Walmart.com.
And you said using that site was difficult, right?
It was, but I was surprised talking about the distribution hubs. Mm-hmm. It's going to get here quicker than it would from Amazon. And
that's kind of what I was saying a little, like there's a Walmart within 10 miles of every small town in America, like moderately sized small towns, whatever. Right? So they have the ability to build that infrastructure because it's already there. Yeah. They've already had that. It's already there.
We wondered, are they looking at their Walmarts like they did their Sam's, say, does this make more sense to shutter this to the retail and turn it into a pickup only, delivery only type deal? That's
correct. They are looking at that. And the reason I know this because, I was really active in selling on Amazon and Walmart and really kind of delved in this for several years. And that is something they're certainly looking at, is doing that because it's just what is more cost effective for them to have that. Because, think about it. You got this huge Walmart store. And you got to turn the lights on. You got to have it stocked. You got to, you got people working there. It's a lot. It's a cost a lot. So like whether they're going to take some of those, and that's one of the things they're discussing about which ones they close and they turn into like FBA, which you would call like an Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon Center. Same thing for Walmart, fulfillment by, or Walmart Plus, or whatever they call it. And so they're doing it. But the problem is their site integration. I'm probably boring people right now. Is very bad. Like the way, and even if you're trying to sell on there, it's very hard to upload stuff and sell. It's just very difficult. Amazon is very easy, yes. And the search function, the algorithm is better on Amazon than it is on Walmart.
And I'm shocked that Walmart ain't got this figured out yet.
Yeah, me too. It was really shocking to me personally doing a lot of that. And
it's like this is the biggest retail company in the world. The number one employer of people in the world is Walmart, and they can't figure this out. Now it was actually pretty easy last night. So my most recent experience was good.
Okay,
but overall, I don't go to Walmart.com.
Yeah,
it's not top of mind either. That's another problem.
Most people don't. Right?
It's not omnipresent.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, most people. I think 50% of e-commerce shoppers begin their search on Amazon for anything.
You know, I have actually started beginning mine on Google.
Yeah, that's what I do mine too. But
I go Google, then I hit shopping and try to look, and I'm trying to cross compare.
Yeah,
and stuff. But again, it's only for stuff I can't buy from somebody local.
Yeah,
like it's hard to buy local stuff.
Sure.
I mean, I can locally grocery shop.
Yeah,
I can locally eat. I can locally buy gas. But at the end of the day, you're still supporting some massive conglomeration of from the stuff you buy from there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even my meat, I try to locally source it as much as I can. My vegetables, I need to get better at that. Mm-hmm. I truly do. I need to start stopping by the roadside, you know,
like farmers market
market type stuff more often. Gosh, it's so much better.
It is.
But you know,
it's like sometimes that takes time, you know, and that's hard.
It is
because you're like, oh, okay, well, I gotta go stop by the front. Yeah, it's pain.
Well,
I mean,
this is going to sound bad, but I would prefer to be able to get several things at one place.
Yeah, I mean, so anybody would.
So if I go by the farmer's stand, the vegetable stand there on the side, was it Berries there in Pearl?
Yeah,
you know, I don't know, but I'm guessing they probably don't sell beer. Mm-hmm. You know, I may want to grab a 12-pack of beer with my asparagus,
right? That
I'm going to eat with my steak. You know,
right.
You know, I'm just. Like,
y'all got some Bud Light, you know, right? That's where it's gonna go.
You know, there's another great locally owned farmers market type place out there in Brandon. Shout out to them. They listen to the show. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's the same thing. Like I don't know, do they sell beer? Can we quit pretending in the South that we don't drink beer?
Yeah. I think we drink the most of it. Most alcohol, you know.
Like,
yeah.
Like there's like this weird separation, just for lack of a better term, separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Here, it's like we're all Christian, but we pretend we don't drink beer.
Yeah.
And so we made it as difficult as we can to get beer that we all want.
Yeah.
So can we stop this? Can we quit separating me from things that I want, making it difficult?
It's unbelievable insanity, right? Yeah. I've always thought that. I always hoped that our generation would be the one to kind of fix all this in the South.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, look, we've been drinking since we were freaking 15.
It's gotten way better.
It's gotten way better, but I mean, this nonsense.
There's actually liquor stores in Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, right, there wasn't, you know, forever. And and that's in a whole other conversation where I think the growth of Brandon would have been a lot better had they, in the 90s, allowed it. Yeah. And that's why you might not have seen the growth of Flowwood.
Sure.
Because, I mean, Brandon is better located in terms of I-20 and interstate access. Like, that area would have grown a lot quicker had they had the foresight of that, and they didn't. So, you know, to allow that.
There's a lot to be said, though, about everywhere doesn't want that growth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest.
But we'll look at Brandon now. It's great. It looks beautiful. Like all the restaurants.
It is, but it's growing at a snail's pace, so to say. There's a massive new development that's going to be coming up over there on the interstate over by Home Depot and all that.
Yeah.
They've done all the infrastructure work and the groundwork. But, you know, if I wanted to live around a bunch of stuff, I'd move to Flowwood.
Yeah.
I'm 5 minutes from Flowwood without having to deal with Flowwood. And I don't dislike Flowwood. I love Flowwood. I'm just saying. But I know what you mean. I mean, you're 100% right.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean,
some people want to live in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
Some people don't. I like that Brandon's not that.
I don't, but I don't think that they were. I think that they probably regret not doing it earlier, though. I would
sure,
think.
Because you missed a lot of opportunities that did go to Flowwood.
That did, yeah.
Sure.
Maybe from
dining options, chain restaurants, you know, maybe some shopping stuff,
right? Because
it's going to be honest, you know, retail is hard, it's tough in Brandon.
Yeah,
there's not a lot. You know, we got a couple. We're going to get another big grocery store. It's going to be a Sullivan's, which that's locally owned. That's awesome. They are the one in Flowwood.
Yeah,
I mean, not Flowwood, Gluckstadt. They're great people from what I understand. And I'm looking forward to that. But I probably won't go to it just because, I already shop at a locally owned or two grocery store. Do I need to spread it out to one more? But other people will. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a shame that I think we have the smallest Kroger of any of them.
Yeah.
Well, either us or Pearl.
They're
both really small.
Right.
But you got that Walmart Supercenter right there, and then Kroger's kind of landlocked where they're at. They really can't do anything outside of close that down and build another. But gosh, that shopping center, that land that it's own's got to be worth bukus.
Now, and that Kroger's been there forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked there in high school and
now that
got fired.
Now that Parkway comes up through there.
Yeah, the Parkway gets it.
That stretch of land right there, like all those little businesses and buildings there, it's going to be worth more to tear those down and rebuild something as retail than it is for like Polk's Drug. No, not Polk's Drug, but Polk's Drug could probably sell that land they're sitting on right behind Kroger.
Yeah.
And build a whole new Polk's Drug somewhere else and still have money left over.
No, true. You know, I was funny. I was thinking, I was actually, I couldn't, I was going to go by your house the other day, but I was at the jail, you know, over Rankin County, and then I had to go do something else. And anyway, I was thinking like how much I like doing business in Brandon, you know, even in terms of legal stuff, because it's so nice and easy. Like even the jail's nice. Like you can go to the jail, you're like, hey, what's up? And you just go to the jail. Like you're in Hinds County, it's like, you know, you're sitting out there for like 3 hours, and it's all the way out in Raymond, and but everything over in Brandon is just so nice and well put together.
It is. I want to continue this conversation. We got some great comments about Walmart and Brandon and some other things over here. You guys are doing a great job. We're going to read your comments when we come back. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Shaun and YURTKURAN. It's our last show for a whole week. Let's get it in our veins. Let's enjoy it. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on WYAB. We're streaming worldwide on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble in 4K video at SaveJXN. This segment brought to you by our friends at Lakeland Glass and Tint. Stocking stuffer time. Get by there today. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure on their schedule tomorrow, but get by there today at one of their 3 locations and grab a stocking stuffer, a gift certificate for somebody to get a window tint or ceramic coating on their vehicle. And I'm sure they offer plenty of other things you can buy gift certificates for there. Maybe you can just buy one for an amount, and then they can use it, apply it to whatever they want to apply it to, and give somebody the gift of window tint or the ultimate paint protection that you can get with ceramic coating or Expel paint protection film. They do so much great stuff over there. But swing by Lakeland Glass and Tint. You can probably start at lakelandglassandtint.com for a free quote today, and may even be able to buy the gift cards there. I'm not sure, but lakelandglassandtint.com, or swing by one of their 3 great locations. It's been a very Brandon-heavy show today, talking a lot about Brandon, but they do have a new location right there on the corner of Highway 471 and Highway 80, or West Government Boulevard, whatever you want to call it, right across the street from Wendy's and all that right there. Swing by there. Swing by the Lakeland Drive location. That's where you get your windshields and all that repaired at. And then they got the big campus over there right across the street from the River Oaks emergency room on Flowwood Drive. And give somebody the gift of automotive protection for the holidays. That's a pretty cool gift, Shaun. I tell you, I wouldn't that's not something you would ever think about, like getting your window tint for Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, like that'd be so cool. You know, like women looking for something to give your men to think your man's got everything. Can't think of something. Let me just tell you, as a dude, how impressed I would be if I got some window tint or a ceramic coating job. Now, ceramic coating is not inexpensive. I mean, that would probably be the big gift.
Yeah.
You know, window tint, not so much. It could be one of the gifts, but you know, you need to be thinking about it. You usually got a comma in that price for the ceramic coating. I just prepare you for that, but you get what you pay for. And Shaun and I both need to get it done on our new cars.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually one of my goals this year, is to get mine ceramic coated. So anyway, with all that said, Lakeland Glass and Tint, thank you guys for another great year here as a partner on the Clay Edwards Show. I've been there since day one. So 895 episodes later, their name has been mentioned on every one of them. So, all right, Shaun. Oh, you know what? I said we were going to talk more about the Walmart stuff in Brandon. I want to pivot.
Yep.
Hard pivot here. Guys, I appreciate all the comments and stuff on that. I hate to change the subject, but this is actually something that's been bubbling here in Mississippi all weekend.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin tweeted.
Yeah, I saw that.
Lane Kiffin tweeted, Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin, the college football playoffs for this weekend. Shaun and I did a great sports show Friday with our buddy Reddy Teddy McRaney. They're live at McBee's. I thought it was probably our best sports show to date. Of course, when the content gods give you the playoffs to talk about, it makes us look smarter than we are. And I was probably completely defeated across the board on all my picks. But anyway, with that said, Lane Kiffin tweets out something to the committee, the playoff committee, to the extent of, you guys suck at what you do. You should have picked us. Because all the games were blowouts. They were all terrible. Every single game was terrible.
They were, yeah.
Now, I ain't mad about Clemson, Texas. That's a matchup that nobody was disappointed when they saw. Tennessee, Ohio State. All those teams deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Now, where you get into the mucky waters is, does SMU really deserve to be there over an Ole Miss or South Carolina, or who's the other team that everybody kept mentioning?
Indiana.
No.
Or Alabama. SMU, South Carolina, Alabama, and Ole Miss,
yes,
right?
South Carolina, Alabama, Ole Miss. I think most people believe they would have performed marketably better than, that's the thought process.
Sure.
They would perform marketably better than SMU, Indiana, or who's the other one?
SMU and Indiana.
Those are the two bad teams. Yeah.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm conflicted because I love an underdog. But I will say this. I think what we saw in this first round, Shaun, there's really only about 4 teams every year that can win the national championship.
Right.
I think you really saw that. Even with the upsets you had in college football this year, when you get on the big stage and you got to compete, and I'm afraid the same thing's going to happen to Boise State. Yeah. I think 2 of those smaller schools. Indiana's a Big Ten school. They're not a small school, but they didn't win the Big Ten.
No, right. No, they didn't.
Ohio State did.
Penn State did, right?
Penn State did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Penn State did.
Yeah, Ohio State couldn't make it because they lost to Michigan that last game, right?
Yeah. Who did Penn State beat?
Indiana, right? And that's right. I believe that's right.
Was it Indiana?
No, I was so distraught after
Indiana lost to Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about the Big Ten championship game. Yes, Indiana lost to Notre Dame Friday night, right?
Who did Penn State play? SMU?
SMU, yes.
Okay. Sorry. I was getting a little confused there. Yeah, so the argument is that we picked these kind of underdog schools because they had a better record, when the better teams were potentially South Carolina, Alabama, Ole Miss. And it's been a big debate. And Shaun had a pretty scathing post on Facebook with his opinion on it. Shaun, tell people what you think.
Sure. I think we have this every year. It doesn't matter if there's an expanded playoff or whatever. People complain, oh, so-and-so should have got in, blah, blah, blah. Right?
It's always like the 65th team in the college, or whatever, on the basketball. It's like whatever the last team out, oh, they got screwed. They should have been in.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. They're a one-and-done team. Regardless,
in the Ole Miss, I like Ole Miss. Obviously, I went to Ole Miss for law school. But you shouldn't have lost to Kentucky and Florida. Like, that was and don't give me, when the SEC is so great. Well, okay, Kentucky and Florida were not great this year, and you lost to them. And if you'd beat them, you'd have been in. So that's it. That's it to me. And if you're Alabama, if you hadn't lost to Vanderbilt, you'd have been in. So what is the strife about that? You didn't do what you had to do, and you didn't get in. You didn't lose to these great teams either. That you're like, Ole Miss lost to LSU, Florida, and Kentucky. Okay, LSU I guess was okay. They weren't great this year. You just didn't do what you had to do, and now you're complaining. So
what's great is when all the naysayers that talked about expanding this thing to 12 games, it's going to devalue the regular season. That's what makes college football so special now. The regular season, every game matters. Every game mattered this year.
Yeah.
Ask Alabama about that Vandy game.
Yep.
Ask Ole Miss about that Kentucky game.
Alabama about that Oklahoma game they shouldn't have lost. They got beat down.
Every game mattered.
Right.
This year. Because now you ain't in the playoffs.
No, you're not.
I love the expansion to 12 teams. Now, does that mean there's still more than 4 teams that can win this thing? Probably not.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's why they play the game. Anything can happen. Starting quarterback can get hurt. Anything can happen. So I love it. The games sucked this weekend.
Oh, they were terrible.
And they didn't keep my attention for more than about a quarter each. But, I think it did set up. We got some good matchups coming up this week, and you got some teams that got a little more rest. You got some teams coming off some big games. Texas picked up a few more injuries. But it does suck that we're going to get Ohio State, Oregon in the second round.
Yeah, that's a little messed up. That I will agree with. That's a little.
As a football fan, I'm glad we get to see it.
Yeah.
But one of the best teams in the country are going to be out. Like this, those teams are both good enough that they should be. That should be a national championship potential matchup, or at least the next round.
Yeah, that we agree on that. That is not that being that second round is not great. I mean, it's a great game, but it's just they're going to be out of it. One of those teams.
But I kind of like it too. You know, I mean, because it's the importance of how big this is.
Because I mean, if you look at these next games, we've got Texas versus Arizona State. I think we all agree Texas is probably going to win that game. I think Texas is going to beat Arizona State.
I agree.
I think Penn State's going to beat Boise State. I think that's going to be pretty easy for them. Ohio State, Oregon, I don't know. I'm not going to call that yet. I'm not ready to. Obviously, somebody went to Ohio State, somebody biased for them. But
my gut says Oregon, but I'm not going to be the least bit surprised because I think Ohio State's playing with house money right now.
They are right now. Like Oregon beat them obviously early in the season, but what they did on Saturday night was impressive with Jeremiah Smith, who's the number one receiver in the country, I think, as a freshman, and they just lit Tennessee up. I mean, and it would have been 60-0 or 60-17 had they not taken the foot off the gas the fourth quarter. I mean, they destroyed them, and they couldn't stop their passing game. Now, Chip Kelly is the offensive coordinator for Ohio State,
former head coach of Oregon.
Yeah, who apparently, when I was listening to the broadcast, and I didn't realize this, apparently Kelly wanted to just go back to coach. He was sick of all the politics.
Yeah,
he just wanted to coach football.
That's what he was. He's an offensive coordinator,
and he changed up. So last time he played Oregon, and what he called against Michigan, he decided to change up his offense and go receiver heavy, which is what you saw Saturday night.
Which is what made him his money.
Yeah,
in Oregon. I mean, it's like he redefined college football. It became the greatest show on turf, so to say.
Yeah, and I think so. Ohio State, like yours at the house, I mean, they're kind of my. If Kelly pulls this off like this, and they're going to do the greatest show on turf kind of things. What they're looking like they're throwing now, it's going to be interesting, man. They could find their way in the championship game easily. I could see that, and so we'll see what happens. And then of course, my other team, man, and people think I'm crazy about this. Notre Dame. Everybody's sleeping on Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a good football team. They are a good football team, and Georgia Beck is not going to be playing. I mean, is
Beck out?
Yeah, he's out. He will not be playing.
Well,
so
most Georgia fans aren't upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. But your starter is not playing, and Notre Dame is there. I think it's going to be tough for him.
Wild Bill says three-peat is coming. Texas versus Georgia 3. I don't know. We'll see. Wild Bill also wishes us both a happy Christmas. So
it could be. I mean, it could be. Georgia is a good football team. I'm not saying that, but anytime your starting quarterback is not there is dangerous. Unless you're Alabama in 2018 and Tua takes over for. Yeah, I mean that those things happen, of course, but that's going to. I think it's going to be. I'm excited about this slate of games. At least Ohio State, Oregon, Notre Dame, Georgia. I think going to be interesting games. The other two, not that excited about.
But I am interested. What's the running back for Boise State?
Oh God, I can't remember his name right now.
I mean, I want to see him up against a good defense.
Yeah,
and I think the NFL
Ashton
scouts,
Genty. I'm sorry,
Genty. I think the NFL scouts want to see him up a good defense. So you get an all-time great running back up against this defense. Now his offensive line's obviously got to play a big part in it, blocking for him. But I like that matchup. That's the matchup I'm going to be watching for in that game. Maybe not so much the final score,
right?
But how does he play in that game?
Yeah.
The game within the game. We got to take a break real quick. We're going to carry this conversation on. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you guys are. This is the best damn sports show period with Shaun and Clay. We'll be right back. To the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Pops Auto Sales, Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. Swing by and see them today for your next used car, truck, or SUV. You can shop them online, popsautosalesllc.com. That's right, popsautosalesllc.com. You can get pre-approved there by doing the online credit application. Save a lot of time. Find out if you can get approved or not, or, if they can compete with your bank, all that good stuff. They got financing options for every credit level out there. So, don't let a couple of hiccups scare you from trying to get a new vehicle from Pops Auto Sales. Well, a new pre-owned vehicle from Pops Auto Sales. Again, locally owned, locally operated. Every vehicle comes with a little short-term drive-off warranty, and they do have extended service contracts available as well. So you can have your security there, knowing if anything happens, you're going to be taken care of. It is a used vehicle, no matter how much recon and no matter how hard everybody tries. They are used vehicles, and unfortunately, things do happen. But 99.999% of the used car dealerships out there do not intentionally sell you stuff that has problems. It just it happens along the way sometimes, and it's how you handle those problems that that separate the men from the boys in this business. And we have a great array of used car dealerships and new car dealerships that handle things the right way. That's why we have them on this show. All right, that's Pops Auto Sales, LLC.com. Swing by, see them today, or shop online, should I say. Pops Auto Sales, LLC.com. All right, Sean, we got about 7 minutes left.
I did have a correction. That's always corrected. Oregon beat Penn State in the Big Ten championship game. As we were kind of saying at the break, it was hard to keep these championship games together with the playoffs. So
it was, man. It was very confusing, and we've been kind of relearning college football on the fly this year.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember who won. I really didn't pay attention to championship. I used to pay attention to championship game weekend, and I just didn't this year, even though we do college football stuff just because of the playoffs. I just didn't.
Well, it's like also like SMU is in a new conference now, and like you had this conference realignment where some of these smaller teams are now in these bigger conferences because they got bastardized, by the SEC and the Big Ten. The Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore except for Washington and Washington State.
Yeah.
I think, not Washington. Washington is now in the Big Ten except for Washington State and Oregon State.
Right.
It's something really weird. I mean, so it's a fiasco over there. But I've got the college football playoff bracket pulled up, Sean. Obviously, you already did too. So this next round is the Rose Bowl. Well, the Rose Bowl is going to be Oregon and Ohio State, Big Ten versus Big Ten.
Yep.
That's odd. But that's just the way
that's where
work.
I get confused because, I went to Ohio State in the late 90s. Oregon was not part of the Big Ten. It's so weird for me to say Oregon's part of the Big Ten.
But what's crazy is, the Rose Bowl's always been a Big Ten.
It is. It's always been a Big Ten, Pac-10.
Pac-10 affiliation. So now you've got a school still, that's their first year.
Formerly Pac-10 school.
Formerly Pac-10 school playing in a traditional matchup, which is really.
That is kind of neat.
Kind of unique there.
Because it used to be with the Rose Bowl was the pinnacle if you were in the Big Ten to get to the Rose Bowl. That's what you wanted to get to.
You wanted to beat Michigan or beat Ohio State. And
you play USC in the Rose Bowl. That was the whole thing. Yeah, that was always the thing.
Occasionally UCLA, and then Oregon kind of rose up. All right, then you got in the Peach Bowl, you got Arizona State versus Texas. I like that. I like that a lot. Bouncing over to the other side of the bracket, you've got the Sugar Bowl, Notre Dame and Georgia. I feel like they played in the Sugar Bowl here recently, didn't they? Played for the national title recently.
Can't recall.
Notre Dame. Notre Dame got drum rolled recently. Was it by Bama? Maybe. Anyway, neither here nor there. I like that matchup. That's going to be a good one. You mentioned the quarterback being out for Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to pick any of these games yet. I don't think. I mean, I will. Whatever. It ain't matters. I'm going to be wrong either way. And then, of course, Boise State at Penn State. I think that one's got the most potential to be a blowout.
Yeah.
But hey, Boise does have the history of coming up big in these big games. It is a neutral site game instead of a home game at Penn State. So, and it is it's the Fiesta. So it's indoors on turf, which plays really well for a running game and a high power offense. Weather's not going to be a issue. Penn State's defense is phenomenal. So again, could be a good matchup there.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna run through and pick these. And this is not against the line. This is just where my thoughts and emotions are today.
Yeah.
Every fiber of my being says Oregon is going to beat Ohio State because I picked Oregon earlier in the year to be my national champion. But Ohio State is just playing house money, man.
They're on fire.
Like the coach knows that if he doesn't win the national championship, they want him fired.
Oh yeah, and if he beats Oregon and gets to the next round, I still think he'd get fired if he lost. Yeah. They're still going to want to fire him if he wins the national championship. By the way, they're still going to want to fire him. And if he got fired after that, anybody that went to Ohio State would not be shocked if that happened. Mm-hmm. If he wins the national championship and still gets fired.
So I'm gonna move on. I'm still gonna ride and take Oregon, but it would not surprise me a bit. I mean, I'm 50-50. I'm 51-49 right now. And I'm 51 Oregon. Then you got Arizona, Texas in the Peach Bowl. I like Texas.
Same. I like Texas for sure. I think that's going to be a blowout.
Yeah. And then the Fiesta Bowl is Penn State, Boise. I'm taking Penn State.
I think Penn State's going to kill them. Yep. It's going to be tough for Boise State.
And then I like Georgia over Notre Dame.
See, I like the Irish. I'm taking the Irish. I think they're the sleeper. I think they're good. And I think they're going to surprise some folks. So.
I think the Big Ten's slow. I don't think they got the speed.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I think that they. I'm just don't be shocked if they come off and Georgia again doesn't have their starter. Georgia was not. I don't think this. I mean, people say how great they are this year, but I mean, they still lost to Ole Miss. I don't know. I don't see it. But most likely Georgia's going to win. I'm just picking the Irish.
Yeah. All right, so that would set us up for a Oregon versus Texas, or Ohio State versus Texas.
Yeah.
I think everybody agrees that Texas is probably going to beat Arizona State, but they probably won't.
Yeah, watch Arizona State. Well,
yeah, I can tell you that the TVs, the broadcasters are all pulling for Texas versus either or, Ohio State or Oregon. It's going to be big money.
That's interesting. Remember what you said during the sports show a few months ago about Quinn Ewers? Isn't there now talk about him coming back, playing somewhere else? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And you were saying, what happens if he tries to come back to Texas with Arch Manning?
Yeah.
Then Manning's going to hit the portal, I would think. You had kind of predicted that. That was your like crazy scenario, which actually may play out now?
It may, because if he wants to come back, especially if they win a national championship, are you going to say thanks for all you did, bye?
I think you would.
You have to, right? If you want to keep Arch.
Yeah.
Because Arch ain't sitting down another year.
No.
And then
No way.
What does Arch get on the open market?
He gets a lot.
And here's the other.
And where does he go?
Well, if he don't go to Ole Miss, it's that they're going to be burning the boats.
They don't got enough to pay him.
They're going to change the speed limit back to away from 18.
18.
Yeah, it's not going to be 18 anymore if Arch Manning goes to another school after transferring from Texas.
They lost Peyton and Arch, generations, right? I mean, they got Eli, obviously. I don't see why Arch would go to Ole Miss. I mean, they can't pay him as much as somewhere else can.
I don't think it's about the money.
You don't think? I mean, it's always about the money, isn't it? A little bit.
I mean, a little bit, but I think it's more about where is he going to get the best coaching for the next level.
Yeah. Where would he? Where do you think he would?
Well, I mean, obviously, look. I mean, say what you want about Lane. He's clearly an offensive-minded coach. I mean,
yes.
He's good with quarterbacks. He hasn't had a quarterback do anything in the NFL that I'm aware of.
No.
So I don't know. Georgia, Georgia would be a great fit for him, I think. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Go to Ohio State. Go hang with Chip Kelly. I could see that.
Does he want to leave the South?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
What about Tennessee? Maybe, I don't know.
Heupel is a quarterback coach, right?
Yeah,
yeah, I can see that.
A lot of possibilities.
But then he's going to follow his uncle, right? Going to Tennessee.
Yeah,
that's.
I think he stays at Texas or goes to Ole Miss. That is my.
But that's following another uncle and going to Ole Miss, right?
Yeah, he could go to Alabama.
Could go to Alabama. That'd be really interesting. I mean, that'd be super interesting. I don't know what if he goes to some place like Oregon? Oregon is lighting up. I mean, I could see that.
All right, we got to take our last break. We'll be right back. Roger, thanks for telling me that I had the other screen blocking. Appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Let's see. Archman.
All right, guys, we're going to get up off here. Come back from the break. I think we have about 30 seconds left to say bye on the radio. I will see you back all. I'll be doing plenty of lives from the house over the next few days through the holidays. Just won't be back here on radio till next Monday. Go enjoy some time away from all this nonsense and shenanigans and chaos and culture war. Detox a little bit. I said I was going to take 30 days off after the election, and I didn't do it. Got to make that money. But look, tonight, the Christmas party, burgers, blues, barbecue, y'all be there. I'll have all the merch available in person, shirts, hoodies, stickers, all that good stuff. Swing by. Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, downtown Brandon, 6 o'clock. Stevens Brothers playing live. Sound and lights provided by Sirius Southern Entertainment. Free to get in. All ages welcome. Bring something. Bring some kind of warm clothing, warm article of warm clothing for our homeless brothers and sisters. We're donating to Shower Power, and you're going to get a free beer from Southern Beverage, Bud Light or Mick Ultra of your choice if you bring an article of clothing to donate to the homeless folks. So don't meet me there. Beat me there. Burgers, Blues, Barbecue tonight. Thank you all so much for another great year here on the Clay Edwards Show. We got another week to go before the year ends, but looking forward to it. See y'all later.